And just to get situated properly, as you sit in the chair, the first thing I'd like you to do is make sure that there's at least a fist worth, a fist and a half worth of space between you and the back of the chair. The next thing I want you to look at is place your feet and your ankles right below your knees, and then just judge whether your knees are lower than your hips or your hips are lower than your knees. So if you're, in my case, my knees are a drop lower than my hips, the blanket that I asked you to have, or a towel, or anything like that, you can place on the floor and to just even out things. So if your hips are lower than your knees, then you would place the blanket on the seat to raise the hips. If your knees are lower than your hips, you're going to place it on the floor as I just did. And I'm just going to move the camera so you can see my feet so that you can raise the knees to be even with the hips. So good morning. Good morning. So happy to sort of get this back on the schedule, although I'm still trying to find the right time that works weekly. So sorry about the change every week. We're going to start by stretching the spine in the 7 directions and moving so that we warm up. And we're going to start, though, first with a breath. So yoga is not just about movement. It's really about so much more. And pranayama, or breath work, is definitely part of it. I try to bring in a different breath each week so that you learn them. There are a couple that are really great for us. They calm the nervous system down. They're just good to have in your toolbox. So today I'd love to do something called Nadi Shodhra, which is alternative nostril breathing. So I'm going to ask you to take your thumb and place it on the left nostril gently. You don't have to close it. Take the next 2 fingers, so your ring finger and your your middle finger and your index finger, and place those on your forehead. Your ring finger is going to be available for your left nostril. So the only finger that's not working is really your pinky, which can just hang out. When we breathe in with the first breath, you're going to close with the thumb the right nostril, and you're going to leave that nostril closed for the inhale, which is going to be long and deep, and then the exhale. And then with the next breath, you're going to use the thumb to open the right nostril and close the left nostril with the ring finger. So let's try that. We'll do it for 4 breaths. So 2 fingers on your forehead, the other 2 fingers on either side of your nose, close the right nostril with the thumb, and let's breathe in for the count of 4. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the thumb, close the left nostril with the ring finger, and breathe in for the count of 4. Breathe out, keeping that nostril closed. And let's again switch fingers. So you're using the left nostril to close the right. Exhale and switch fingers. Keep doing that. Keep going back and forth. 2 more breaths. Switch fingers. Allow your hand to come down onto your knees. Let's check our alignment. So we want to make sure that our rib cage is over our hips. We already checked to make sure our ankles are over our knees. Our shoulders are down away from the ears, but our shoulders are over our hips. Our head is on straight. We're not leaning forward or leaning back. We're going to inhale again. So I'm going to cue the breath a lot. In yoga, we like to move with the breath. And generally, when you inhale, you get tall and strong. And when you exhale, you relax into the pose. That's something to think about. Yoga is all about strengthening and relaxing at the same time. So we're going to inhale and bring your arms up overhead. Let your palms touch. Now get tall. So we're inhaling, and I want you to find an extra ½ inch in the spine. Exhale, allow the arms to come back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms overhead, tall and strong. Try to take the shoulders away from the ears if they crept all the way up there, and then exhale, bring it back down. As we inhale, allow your feet on the blanket if necessary to spread out in front of you to get long as we take our hands and we're going to bend at the hip crease. You're not bending at the waist. You're not curving the spine. You're going to bend where your thigh and your hips meet with a very straight back. You're going to come down, let those hands slide all the way to the feet, and then let the head relax and almost you can round the back slightly. Let your stomach rest on your thighs if you can get there for a forward bend. Slide back up, come all the way to neutral, let the feet come slide back. Hold on to the back of the chair so there's space between you and the back of the chair, and let yourself look up and lead with your chest for a back bend. We're just slowly warming up. I promise we'll be moving a lot. Come back to center. Holding with your right hand, hold the right side of the chair. Take your left hand up overhead, drop the shoulder so it's down, and then we're going to lean to the right. So you're going to get a nice stretch in the rib cage on the left hand side, and there's a compression here on the right hand side. You do not want to be leaning forward. You kind of want to be almost like there's a wall behind you so that your torso is straight. Now take your gaze and look up at your hand. In yoga, we like to cue the gaze as well, or the drishti, where you're looking. Come back to center. Allow your body to realign for a moment. Holding on to the left side, we're going to do it on the other side. Raise the right arm, drop the shoulder, then take the stretch all the way towards the left side. Again, as if there's a wall behind you. And once you get there, then look up at your hand. Come back to center. Take the right arm, bring it behind you, hold on to the back of the chair. Now, you know we're going to twist because, once you start to set that up, automatically everyone's going like this. Before you do, take your left hand, bring it to the outside of the knee, take a deep breath in and gain that ½ inch back in the spine again. So get really tall. And then as you exhale, relax and look over the right shoulder. Again, inhale. Let go of the twist, just a drop, like an inch, right? And then get tall and strong and see if on the exhale, as you relax, you can even look over that shoulder just a little further. I laugh because when I was much younger and I used to twist, I used to actually be able to almost twist all the way around. Or, it's just the way the body is. We honor the body for where it is right now. In yoga, you don't want to do anything that causes pain. Come back to center, crossing your arms over the front. Take a moment, just take a breath here and breathe as we realign. Then take the left hand, bring it back behind you onto the chair. Your right arm is on the outside of the left thigh. Again, breathe in, get tall and strong. And as you exhale, look over that shoulder. And with each breath, you do that. You let go just a little bit on the inhale, get strong. And on the exhale, you release. So yeah, in yoga, you don't want to feel pain. You do want to feel challenged, but if there's any pain, then let up. Take it, come out of it. Come back to center. Okay. Hands on their own knees or thighs instead of being crossed. I'm going to just do a little bit of cat-cow. So I want you to, this is a little bit of rounding of the back. So if there's any osteoporosis, don't round the back, then just go forward and back with a straight back. But those of you who have the flexibility in the spine, I want you to take the belly button, let it go towards the spine. So you're almost tucking the hips, letting the belly button come towards the spine, tucking the chin for cat. And then you bring the belly button towards the knees. You look up at the ceiling for cow. And we inhale and we exhale as we come back to cat, and inhale for cow. Going back and forth with the breath. This is all warming up the spine because we're going to be really moving it. And come back to center. Let's bring our shoulders up to the ears where they don't belong. Bring them down. Bring them up And this time, do some circles with the shoulders, with either direction, clockwise, counterclockwise, because do 3 of them and then come in the other direction. And relax. Take your chin and drop it to the chest, and then bring your ear to either shoulder. It doesn't matter. We're going to be doing both. Not the shoulder to the ear, but the ear to the shoulder. There's a difference. And then come back to center. We're not going back with the head and then go to the other side. Come back to center. Inhale as you come back to the first side. Exhale to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale to center. Take your right leg and bring it up to the chest and hug it to the chest. Flex the foot. Bring it out to its side if you can. Bring it back to center. Bring it out to the side, back to center. Now, if you have a strap or a belt or a scarf, now would be the time that I would say, pick it up and place the strap around the ball of the foot. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You can hold on to the ankle, hold on to the shin, hold on right below the knee, and bring that leg straight out. Point and flex it. Bend the leg. Take the right foot into your left hand, and you hold the knee with your right hand. And I want you to see if you can do a couple of hip circles. One direction, and then of course in yoga, we always work the other side, so come in the other direction. Come bring that leg into the other direction. And bring the foot back to center, hug the knee to the chest, and let it come down. Let's take the left leg, hug it to the chest, flexing the foot, bring it out to its own side, bring it back to center. You're gonna notice a difference. Bring it back out to the side. Take that knee and take the foot in your right hand and the knee. We're not pressing, no pain, again, just a challenge. And see if you can do a couple of hip circles with that. Do some leg circles so that we sort of lubricate the hip joint in one direction and then come take it in the other direction. Place the foot back down. Sit up straight because we were probably, like me, you were leaned back a little bit. Come back to center. Just want to show you what it feels like. So your shoulders are now hopefully aligned over your hips. Take your arms and bring them out into goddess pose. I want you to focus on the back of your body and feel those shoulder blades as they're going down your back. And they are sort of, we all sit all day in front of computers or watching TV and our shoulders are rounded up front. This is what will bring those shoulders back into alignment. I was reading an article about, I guess, that hump in the back that we get. It's called the dowager's hump. And this is the movement that will do the opposite. So bring your hands back to your knees, just allow your shoulders to relax and feel where your shoulders are now. Then take those arms and bring them down. Can you feel that coming down your back? We're going to try to keep our arms in this position a couple of times later, but you could do this while you're sitting watching TV, walking, while you're sitting at your desk. Come back to center. Take your arms, bring them out in front of you. Allow those wrists to bend so that it's as if you're holding a wall in front of you, and let your fingers come wide. So as your fingers are really wide, take the thumb and bring it a half an inch in, because we don't want to stretch out that thumb joint too much. But it's as if there's a wall in front of you, so you're getting some wrist play here. And we have webs, our fingers are webs. Now I want you to take your hands and make claws, like animal claws, and just bring the fingers to touch the thumbs and the thumbs to touch the fingers. Oh, that's not claws, those are beaks. Sorry, claws are this, do this. So this is great for arthritis. We get arthritis in our fingers as we age, some of us, and you get your joints. So we're gonna really exercise those joints, just squeeze like your claws, And I was reading an article that said that our hand grip is a good indicator of our strength and our health and our lifespan. So you really wanna work your hands. And make paws. Paws are just fists, as if you're punching a wall. So put energy into your arms. Your arms are straight out, shoulder height, and you have fists in front of you. Okay, hands down onto your legs. If you have a block or a roll of paper towels. I want you to place it in between the legs and squeeze. We worked out the legs a little bit. We warmed them up a little bit. I just want to do this one more time, but squeezing. So take the right leg, bring it out in front of you and point and flex. Just point and flex a few times. You'll start to feel it in the quad and the thigh right here. And then bring that leg down. Let the left leg come up, point and flex. Keeping your torso straight, body long. And then bring it down. Remove the block. And my favorite pose. So we want to rid ourselves of the blanket now because we're going to start to flow in a moment. So take the blanket away. Strap. But here's what I want you to do. Take those legs out wide, straight. You're on the edge of the chair. Arms come out into starfish pose. Deep breath, get tall, get wide. Feel your power. You're taking up space. We're allowed to take up space. You're as big as you could be. Your arms are outstretched, your legs are outstretched, and we're still in a chair, but this is a starfish pose. Now, while we're here, take your arms and bring them into goddess. Feel those shoulders come down the back. Turn to the right. Just make sure that you're sitting in the chair. Come back to center, turn to the left. Come back to center, arms come out wide again. Bring your hands to heart center, legs shimmy, come back to center, sit back in your chair. I'm going to do a few sun salutations in the chair. So sun salutations are movements based on breath. It's still part of the warm up, but it's actually a flow. So inhale, arms come up overhead, palms kiss, look up at your hands. Deep breath in, deep breath out, let the shoulders come down. Inhale again. On the next exhale, let your arms come back down, hands on your thighs, legs come out in front of you as we slide down. So we did this earlier at the hip crease. So with a flat back, you're coming down into a forward bend. As you reach down and the stomach touches the thighs, you can relax the head and allow the back to round into a forward bend. Inhale, slide the legs. You're not coming all the way up, you're coming halfway up with a flat back. Exhale, come back down. Slide the legs under, your hands come up in that movement where we're holding a wall. Come up onto the balls of your feet, so you're kind of on your toes. Your hands are out right in front of you for plank, and then we're coming into down dog. So raise the hands up, allow the legs to go out straight in front of you, soles flat on the floor, grip the floor with your feet and lean forward with a flat back. So you're bending at the waist so that if we tipped you down onto the floor, you'd be in a down dog position in a V shape with your hips out, jutted out to the sky. And in this case, out behind you in the chair. Hold this, pressing that imaginary wall with your hands. Bring the hands onto your legs, slide down for another forward bend. Halfway up, slide down. Tuck the legs so that the ankles are under the knees. Inhale, palms reach up and kiss. You look up at your palms. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, palms touch. Look up, exhale, hands onto your thighs, legs come out in front of you, slide down into a forward bend. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, slide the legs back under you so the ankles are under you, hands come out onto that imaginary wall, fingers are wide, tuck that thumb in half an inch. You're up on your toes. You're in a plank position as we raise our arms to come into down dog on that wall, and you let your feet come out in front of you, soles on the floor, and you tilt forward so that you're in a V shape for down dog. Hold this, breathe. Allow the head to be in line with the spine. You don't have to look up. I'm looking up at you, but really your head should be between your hands. Neck is long, one long line with the spine. Allow the hands to come onto the thighs, slide down, your feet are still out in front of you. Inhale, come back up with a flat back. Exhale, slide back down. Relax here in a forward bend. Slide the ankles so that they're under the knees. Inhale and reverse swan dive. Let your palms kiss. Look up at your hands. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Okay, let's flow. So let's turn to make sure that your props, you want to keep a block near you, but I want you to turn to the right side of your chair. So while we do this, I want you to have stability. So your right hip is on the chair. Your left hip is sort of half off so that you have some mobility here to move that hip around. The right leg, the ankle is under the knee. I'm going to tell you right now that the tendency is going to be for that knee to come in. Your job is to think about that knee and keep it so that it's straight towards the side of the room. Your left leg, you have a couple of choices. So I'm going to give you options. You make the decision. You can take the block, place it here, allow your knee to rest on it. You could bring it back on the flat side, bring your foot up on it, or you might not need the block at all over here and you could just allow the leg to come here. If you have the mobility, and there's no judgment here, you can take that leg straight, foot in a 45-degree angle, but the leg is straight behind you. So if you're able to do that, that's great. Your torso is facing the front knee. So your body is facing the side of the room. Your torso is tall and straight between, you're not leaning forward. It's not a straight line back to from the pinky toe. You're basically, your torso is smack in the middle. Gaze is over that knee. And remember to try to keep that knee to its own side. Your right hand holds the back of the chair. Your left hand, you have a couple of options here. Can come to heart center halfway. So it's half prayer position. This is all warrior one. Press into the pinky toe side. See my foot back here high? Let that pinky toe side of the foot press down. It's at a 45-degree angle. So it's not facing the way the knee is, and it's not facing the front of the room. It's sort of halfway in between. Your other option with your hands is to allow your left arm to come overhead for warrior one. And if you can let go of that right hand in the back, you can have both arms come up for warrior one. So we're holding warrior one for a breath. Remember that knee needs to be facing the side of the room, straight in front of you. And then we're going to wheelhouse the left arm, however you had it, behind you. Right arm comes in front of you. The foot changes position, the back foot, and is now facing the front of the room. That should ease up a little bit of tension as you twist your torso. Your torso is now facing the front of the room, but your gaze, your drishti, where you're looking is over your front fingers. So over that right hand, the knee stays to its own side. It's going to be trying now hard to come towards the center. Your right arm is facing the future. Your left arm is in the past and you are in the present. Take a deep breath. This moment, this breath. Warrior one. Allow your left arm to slide down the left leg as the right arm, turn the palm up and let it come overhead. Let it bend. And you're getting a nice stretch here. This is all repeat movements from what we did earlier as you do a side stretch down towards the left side where your arm is headed for peaceful warrior. Remember that knee, it's really trying, I'm sure, to come towards the center. Try to keep it on its own side. Take a deep inhale. On the exhale, allow your forearm, now you're going to be coming towards that front leg, to rest on the front thigh. When I say front, it's the bent leg. Your left arm is coming up overhead. Now I want you to take that arm and let it come so it's one long line from your fingertips down to the pinky toe side of the foot. You see how it's one long line? Your gaze could be up at your hand, could be straight ahead. whatever's comfortable for your neck, but your head is one long line. The back of your neck is one long line from of your spine. So your head is one long line, your arm to the pinky toe side of the foot, one long line. And this hand, the hand that's bent on the leg, should not be pressing hard. It's just lightly resting there and maybe even keeping that knee to its own side. And this is side angle pose. Take an inhale, bring that left arm back down the thigh, and the right arm comes back over for another peaceful warrior. And then come back to side angle pose. Now, wheelhouse the arm back behind you. We're back to warrior two. Your gaze is over those front fingers. And I want you to just tilt the arms like into a triangle pose. Your arms are straight. Your front arm is on the inside of the thigh, keeping the knee to its own side. If you'd like a block here, you can keep it on its tallest side and let that front arm rest on the block as the other arm comes up for triangle pose. Come back to warrior two. This is the flow part, guys. So that's why we're moving fast. And this is a great workout. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring yourself back to center. Your knees are bent. Let's do goddess arms one more time. Feel those shoulders come down your back. Use the muscles in your face to smile. Okay, bring your legs together. Bring your arms out in front of you. Let your right arm come in front of you. Your left arm twists right on top of that and twist those hands. Now you might just be here where the backs of your palms are touching, or if you can twist those hands a little further so that your wrists are twisted and your palms are facing each other and holding each other, that would be great. We're in eagle arms, and lift the elbows so they're shoulder height. If you'd like to take this position, and you can try it a little further, you can take that right leg, cross it over the left, and you might be fine right here. If you can though, see if you can take that right leg and let the ankles twist one around the other so that you're getting a real twist here. And wherever you are is beautiful and fine. But if you're here, or if you're just here, or if you're here, wherever you are, you know how we leaned forward before from the hip crease? That's what I want you to do if you can, if it's not painful. So you're gonna lean forward with a flat back and you are soaring like an eagle. This is eagle pose. Lift those elbows so they're shoulder height. Come back up so that you're straight and aligned. Unfurl the legs, unfurl the arms. Allow yourself to realign, let our rubber bands snap back and take a moment. I want you to take that right leg, we're still working on the right side, and let the ankle come over the left thigh. So your knee might be up like mine, because you know, wherever your flexibility is great. Some people might be here. It's all good if you can keep it like this. Let your forearm rest on the knee. Take your left hand to your right foot. You're holding that foot so it's flexed. And you're going to, again, lean forward at the hip crease. We never in yoga round the back here. We're always leaning at the hip crease, and lean forward as you press that knee down for seated pigeon pose, which is a hip opener. So you're opening up your hip. Believe it or not, when you're sitting in a chair, you can work every part of your body. So we're even working the hips right now, even though they're sitting in a chair. Deep breath. And come back up to center. Allow the feet to come back down. And guess what? We have to do the other side. So this time I want you to turn to face the left side of the room. Your left hip is centered on the chair. The right hip is halfway off, so you have some flexibility there and we can use it. And again, the left ankle is under the knee, and the right foot can either be here with a block, it can be leaning on a block, or if you have the flexibility to take that foot so that it's straight and your foot is in a 45-degree angle, that's great. If you can press into the floor with the pinky toe side of the foot, that's the movement we want. So you're pressing in, keeping that leg straight. This knee, the left knee, is going to try to collapse center, keep it to its own side. So again, for warrior one, the torso is centered, but it's facing over the front knee. The left hand could be gripping the back of the chair. Right arm could be halfway at heart center for warrior one. You can raise the right arm overhead. You can let go of the back of the chair and have both arms facing this direction for warrior one, whatever works for you. Hold it here, take a deep breath in. You might be feeling this on your hip, you might be feeling it on the front thigh. Take the right arm, let it wheelhouse back behind you into the past. Front arm comes into the future. Your torso is smack in the center. Keep that knee to its own side, and your gaze, your drishti, where you're looking, is at your front fingers. Deep breath for warrior two. Allow the back hand to slide down the back, straight leg, gripping the floor with your pinky toe side of the foot. Let your arm come overhead. Let it bend for a side stretch. Compression on the right, a stretch on the left as we come into peaceful warrior. Inhale, exhale. Your gaze could be straight ahead. We're not trying to strain the neck here. Allow the forearm to rest on the front thigh, keeping the knee to its own side. Pressing the pinky toe side of that straight leg, allow this arm to come up overhead. Make sure your torso is now facing the front of the room, and let that arm come by your ear for a straight line, pinky toe side of the foot to the fingers. Your gaze could be up at your hand or could be straight ahead, whatever's more comfortable for you for side angle pose. You're not using a lot of pressure on the front leg. Really, you can use it to keep the knee towards its own side. Inhale, exhale. On the next inhale, come back to peaceful warrior. Exhale, come back to side angle pose. Wheelhouse that arm back, front arm to the front. Your gaze is over the front fingers once again for warrior two. And this time I just want you to tip down. If you want to use a block, you can use a block for triangle pose. So the arms are in a straight line. Come back to warrior two, hands on your hips, bring your legs wide, bent, ankles under the knees, hands come back to goddess. Take a block or paper towels or books, put it in the center, right where your gaze would be. Take your right hand, place it onto the block, which is center. Turn using your left hand on your leg. I want you to take that left shoulder and bring it up to the sky and take the left hand up to the air. You're looking at the left hand. If that's hard for you, you can hold on to your waist or your hip, but it's really about tilting the left shoulder up for a twist this way. And then come back to center, bring that shoulder so it's parallel to the floor, and switch hands. So the left hand is on the block. Your right arm comes up as following the shoulder, or you can hold onto your waist and it's just the shoulder that's reaching up towards the sky for a twist here. Come back to center, hands on your thighs, come back up. Bring your legs together. Take your left arm out in front of you. We're going to do eagle on this side. Right arm comes over. Twist those arms wherever you can have them join each other. And looks weird. And elbows are up shoulder height. If you want to take it a little bit further, allow the left leg to cross over the right. If this is where you are, that's great. If you can, twist those ankles behind, that's great. And then lean forward at the hip crease for eagle, keeping the elbows up shoulder height, and you're soaring like an eagle. I used to be in a leadership group where they talked about eagles. They said, be like an eagle. Eagles don't flock for leadership. Come back up. So I love watching eagles. Uncross the legs, uncross the arms, give yourself a moment to come back. Take your left leg, cross the ankle over the left thigh. We did this earlier on the other side. Allow your forearm to just rest on the knee. Your right hand is holding the left foot flexed. Again, get tall. So inhale, we said this earlier, you get tall, get that extra half an inch, get really straight and long. And as you exhale, lean forward on the hip crease, at the hip crease, bending over, pressing down, using that forearm to keep that leg down for pigeon, which is a hip opener. As I said earlier, we're stretching out the hips right now. Deep breathing here. We walk around in life and we only use 1/7 of our lungs. Exercise those lungs while you're sitting in the chair. Fill them all the way up. You can feel it deep in your belly, and exhale and come back up to center. Uncurl the legs. We're going to come out of the chair for a moment. If coming out of the chair is tough for you and you want to do this in the chair, you're welcome to, and I will cue it. But if you can come out of the chair, and let's come so that your right hip is close to the chair. If you're in the chair, you're just sitting in the chair for right now, knees bent, ankles under the knees. I want you first to spread your toes out. Find the center of your foot, of your grip. Find the center so that your 4 parts of your foot, pinky toe side, big toe side, and the heel on both sides, all even. Then I want you to shift the weight without really doing anything, but shift the weight into the right leg so that the right foot is gripping and the left foot is kind of just hanging out there. I do not want you to be cognizant of jutting out the right hip. Don't let, because I know that this is what I used to do. The right hip would come out to sort of compensate for balancing. I want you to keep your body tall and straight. Take your left foot and let it come up to the ball of the foot, so the toes. And again, there's really no pressure. All the pressure is on your right leg right now. Take that left foot, turn the heel towards the inside of the ankle. Make sure you're using the muscles in your face to smile. This is balance. And in balance, we will inevitably fall out of the pose and wait till we lift. I want you to keep smiling. If your leg comes down, just bring it back up. There is no judgment. And the good thing about balance, and then lift that leg towards the inside of the calf. If you could bring it up to the inside of the thigh, you can help it. Just remember not to jut out the hip. You can hold on to the chair if you need to. Otherwise, you can let your arms come to heart center. This is called tree pose. You can let your branches wave in the tree. Bring your arms to goddess pose. Get some more of that shoulder work to get rid of any back roundness we have. Or just hold on to the side of the chair, allow with the other hand to do whatever it wants to do. So the thing about balance poses and how important they are is the statistics, and all of you know, one fall and it could be really bad for us. So maybe by practicing balance, it will allow you to have one less fall. You'll be able to regain your sense, you won't fall. So let's hope and let's keep practicing balance so that one less fall for any of us. Allow that leg to come down more gently than I just did. Heel toe, just to get your legs back in alignment. And let's come to the other side of the chair. You can move the props out of the way. Again, spread the toes wide, find the center of both feet. You want to try my favorite thing, lift your toes up, feel the engagement of the quads, then press the big toe down, press the pinky toe down. Can you leave those 3 toes up in the center? That's mind-body connection. If you keep working that, you'll be able to do that as well. So we want to hold on to the chair if you need to, otherwise you can keep your arms, we're going to start to balance. So shift the weight mentally into the left foot without jutting the hip out. Take the right foot, come up to your toes, turn the leg so that the heel is on the inside of the ankle, and then slowly bring that leg up to wherever's comfortable. You might be okay with just like letting your toes gently graze the floor and having your heel on the inside of the ankle, and that's a balance pose. If you could bring it up, great. Hands could be anywhere. They could be at heart center. Just remember not to jut out the hip. We're in tree pose, so you can let your branches fly. Could be a windy day. You could allow your arms to come into goddess pose. If you want, you could clasp your hands behind you, which does the same thing as goddess pose, brings the shoulders down the back. You could hold on to the chair, keep your hands half at heart center, as we did earlier for warrior one. You're balancing. And if your leg comes down, not a big deal, just bring it back up again. And you'll notice a difference in both legs. One leg might be able to do more than the other. Bring that right foot back down, give a little heel toe so you get realigned. And let's come back to the chair. Bring your right knee back up to your chest. Hug that knee. We started out this way, but we're going to finish this way too. Point your toes, flex your toes, point your toes. See if you can hug that knee a little tighter to the chest and allow that leg to come back down. Let's show some love to our legs. Hug that left leg to the chest, heel toe. Hug it a little tighter, allow it to come down. And we're going to come into our final pose, which is Shavasana. Shavasana is so important. It really integrates, it allows your body to integrate all the movement we just did, gives your mind a rest. I know that some people feel like their mind works in, their brain is spinning, their thoughts. Just allow yourself to relax. So here's how we do it in a chair. I asked you to have a pillow. So you can take your pillow, could be a bed pillow, could be a couch pillow. Place it on your thighs. The reason for that, you know how they sell weighted blankets now? Because it's a comfort to have something weighted on us. That's the reason for this. You just want to get comfortable. So you still have a fist or a fist and a half distance between you and the back of the chair. Here's where I want you to lean back. So your back is comfortable. If you're rounded, that's fine, but lean back. You can allow your hands to rest on the pillow, palms down, palms up, hands together, whatever feels good. Allow your chin to rest on your chest. And I invite you to close your eyes or just keep them open with a soft gaze on a spot. So normally I like to scan the body while we're here. I will take you out of this pose in a couple of minutes, but instead of, I'm going to allow you to scan the body, which generally, just I'll give you the instruction, means I want you to start at your feet and mentally focus on each part of your body, trying to find tension and release it. And while you're doing that, I want to read you a poem. Breathe, relax, and feel. Take time to slow down the pace of life. Watch the rise and fall of moods, the birth and death of dreams. Feelings and sensations seem so real, yet they shift like changing clouds and flow with the high tide out to sea again. Allow it all to be. No need to grasp or push away. Present with each moment, the whole of you, body, mind, and soul, opens to receive. Feel your lungs fill with air. Feel the air as it enters your nostril, cool. Think about the tip of your nostril, and as you exhale through the nostrils, the air is a little bit warmer. Focus on the breath. And when you're ready, you can start to wiggle the toes just a little bit. Wiggle the fingers. Keep your eyes closed. So you can remove the pillow. Come up to center. Bring your hands to heart center in prayer position. Allow your chin to gently relax onto your chest. We bow our heads. In yoga, we like to say namaste, which means that the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you so much for joining me. Open your eyes. Thank you.